Welcome to Poddio, the world's first sound studio for the iPhone. Here's a quick lesson on how to use some of the basic functions of Poddio. First of all, if you want to make a recording, simply press this button and then press record. The program is now recording. You can just hold it up to someone to speak. You can then stop. You can give it a name, or you can simply save it as it is, and your file is ready to edit. To edit a file, just pick any file you want. I've pre-recorded a few clips that I can use in a news story. So first of all, I'll cut a few clips from my voice. Pressing Edit File opens the editor. There's two basic screens. The first one, this one, is called the build screen. This is where we can select clips and then put them into any order we want. So first of all, you want to select a clip. In this case, I'm going to zoom in a bit so I can work more easily. Press and then spread your fingers in the pinch gesture to zoom out. You zoom in by pinching inwards. Simply grab the cursor to move it, or press on the timeline and move it to where you want to start the clip. You then grab the diamond shaped tab in the center and pull. You can, once you've grabbed it, you can actually move your finger anywhere so you can see it more easily. I'm going to select that little bit of audio right there. I'll pull it down, and that creates a bungee block, and that block represents a 14-second element of sound. Now, if I only wanted that clip, I could save it the way it is and send it. Now, I want to create another one right here, so I'm going to highlight this bit of sound, pull that down, get out of there, and create a third one. Now, another way to highlight, by the way, is you can actually go into mark mode. And the way mark mode works is you can still highlight the same way, but you won't lose the highlight if you press elsewhere in the screen. So first I press mark mode, and I grab that same tab and I pull. The difference here is I press outside, I won't lose it. Also, I can move this one, or I can play whatever is within the highlighted area.
That impressive speech touched a nerve with many people around the world.
Just like that. Now I want to move this clip down and save this one as well. So now I've got 3 clips. I get out of mark mode, I press the button, and I move along. I will now save my last sound element, which is this one here. And I've created 4 clips of my own voice. Now, I may want to open a second or a third file and put some clips in between. So I'll do that. I just move the toolbar over and I go and take a look for some of my recorded audio files. There's either recordings, which are raw recordings, or audio files. Now in this case, I'll just look for the one I'm after, which is here, number 03. Now this one, I want to highlight the entire clip, so I'm going to just go into mark mode, drag, pull down, and you'll notice that the clip is a different color. The reason is it makes it easier to identify which sound source a particular clip is from. So when you're organizing them later, it makes it much easier. So I'm going to close this one, and I will open a second clip rather. I'll choose that one, and again into mark mode, grab and pull down, and now you'll see that there are 2 clips here from different people and 4 from myself. Now I want to reorganize these now, so I'm going to get out of mark mode, and all I have to do actually to reorganize my clips is actually to grab them and pull them. So in this case, I'm going to grab this one here, number 5, and pull it across. So I got my voice, someone else's voice. I'm going to grab number 6, and I am now done. So I've just completed a basic news story. Now, if I want to play just one of these clips, I can highlight it and play it.
Of Johannesburg says the event was more like the crowning.
The other thing I can do is I can also delete a particular clip. So now, as it turns out, I don't need this number 4, so I highlight it and I can delete it. Now it just leaves me with a voice, a clip, my voice, a clip, my voice. I'm basically done. I can now save my file, and I'll call it Poddio. So I give it a name. I can save it as a WAV file or an AIFF. I'll save that. And now I can go back and I can open that one as well, or I can put it onto my computer. If you wanted to do something more detailed, in other words, if you're not quite happy with the way some of the elements in your sound worked out, you can open the Fine Editor. And this gives you the result of all the blocks that we've created earlier. Basically, if I want to delete a very small part of, say, this clip right here, I can zoom in nice and tight. In fact, I'll zoom in twice here. And if I wanted to get rid of just this tiny bit of sound here, I could press here, bring it to where I want, and just drag to get rid of that tiny bit, hit delete, and now I can listen to the result.
He was still impressed by Obama, so you can switch it.
So that shows you how you can do some of the fine editing. Mark mode also appears here. If you're not quite sure where you want to make an edit point, you can hit this button. It will play just before and just after the cursor placement. Now if you wanted to split a clip in two, and for example you might want to do that because you want to switch the order of what's said in those two clips or something like that, you can simply press this button and it will split it in two. So if you see here, when I tab forward, you'll see it automatically stops there and it's created a new edit point. So when I go back to the build mode, I will see a new block and I can change those positions. As well, another thing that I can do with the, once I've created an insert point, is I can insert a block of silence. That's this button here. When I press it, it automatically creates 2 seconds of silence, and I can increase or decrease that simply by pulling the cursor. So now I've made it 3 seconds of silence. I get out of that mode and I'm done. Finally, if I wanted to change an individual clip, perhaps I'm not happy with where the transition happened, I can get into adjust clip mode, which is this one here. And this one is very simple. Let's say I didn't want this portion of the clip, I could grab this cursor and pull it and it will automatically get rid of it. On the other hand, if I want to add to the clip, it will restore what's been cut out earlier. So for example, I'll pull this one, and as you can see, as I pull, it's adding sound that was deleted earlier in the process. So that's an easy way to adjust a clip that perhaps you made a mistake on earlier. Again, you can also save your file from the Fine Edit screen. So if you're happy with the way it sounds, again, you would simply hit save, give it a name, and you're done. So this gives you some idea of how quickly you can edit a story or a song or something like that with Poddio. Thanks a lot.